This comes from our pharmacy friend Scott. He was curious because is this beneficial to use things like preservision, which is, or any kind of vision supplement? You know what I mean? Like targeting inflammation specifically in the eyes is what his question is. Is that a beneficial thing for people to do?
So, like as a prophylactic or preventative thing, or
Yes.
okay, yeah. I mean, I think as long as you want to be able to see, it seems
Yeah.
like a worthwhile target. Um, and to
Yeah.
me, um, we it, I get the question though, because in relative to everything else we're worrying about day to day in our health, the eyes, kind of take a back seat until you have an eye issue, right? But
Right.
um, so specific addressing the eye specifically is worthwhile when your goal is to be optimal because you want to preserve your vision, and optimal life in my mind is being able to see things, includes being able to see things. But the cool thing about the body is you don't have to explicitly think about targeting every single thing because the tissues and the enzymatic processes in biology uh, largely require the same general nutrients to get their jobs done, right? So, for example, we need, as we've covered in recent weeks, B12 for myelin production in the nervous system. Well, the eye isn't going to function without good myelin because the retinal nerves um, are myelinated, highly myelinated. So if you had a B12 deficiency, that can impact your vision. But guess what? Every multivitamin on the planet is going to have B12 in it, right?
Hmm.
So you're impacting the eye without necessarily thinking about impacting the eye because the B12 is needed for myelin and hundreds of other enzymatic reactions. So you're impacting the eye by eating that steak and getting the B12 of it out of it, but you're also impacting the whole nervous system. You're impacting the mitochondria. You're impacting uh, the liver. You're impacting every tissue in some level. So, you know, living the lifestyle, so to speak, and having your bases covered from a nutrition standpoint so that you've got sufficient B vitamins and like fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A for vision is going to be key. Right? We don't have to explicitly think about the eyeball, but vitamin A is key for preventing night blindness. So, um, a deficiency in vitamin A promotes night blindness. So, if you are dealing with trouble seeing at night, that could be a sign that you need more vitamin A. And you also need vitamin A for thyroid health, skin health, immune health, anti-inflammatory, antiviral. So, there's lots of uses for it. But if we want to get more specific about, regarding the eye, um, the kind of eye targeted supplements often have lots of antioxidants in them, like lutein and astaxanthin and zeaxanthin and the lycopene. Like there can be a bunch of different ones in there, and the reason for that is because the eye, due to us having open eyes and being out in the sun, potentially could be exposed to damage from oxidative stress from UVB, UVA light. Um, And so, antioxidants help fight oxidative stress and battle promotion of things like cataracts and other eye issues. So you can just taking your multivitamin and your fish oil in general are protecting the eyes. But then if you're more worried about specific eye issues, you might want to say get antioxidants that are more targeted for the eye.
Okay, that's really helpful because he sees a lot of people buying the Bausch and Lomb, the Arids too. It's
Mhm.
AREDS, all caps too. But I'm looking at it and it's, that's what it's got in there. It's got a lot of zinc oxide, marigold flower, zeaxanthin, the lutein,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So I think that was more to his point is it worth it to take something like this if you are doing, your multivitamin and fish oil, but like I
Yeah,
appreciate that if you are like for me, having had past eye inflammation and things like that, maybe it is good
yeah,
to to add that to my regimen, right?
Yeah, potentially. And again, like the general, it's kind of like should there's the general swallowing of your multivitamin and hoping that it gets everywhere you want it to get versus sometimes dropping drops right on the eyeball delivers it more efficiently directly there, right?
Right.
Um, so if you had a conjunctivitis or a short-term eye inflammation issue, it's better to maybe directly drop it into the eye instead of swallow it and be like, oh, I hope this clears up my eye inflammation soon. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah,
um,
right. Yeah,
it might, but not as efficiently as just going straight at the eye in that instance.
that's
And
really
so I
helpful.
think somebody on here a few weeks ago was telling us it might have been Gene. Don't you have omega-3 drops for your eyes?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, what are those called?
It's made by Allergen, Aller, Allergan. Anyway, it's Refresh, Optive Mega 3.
Okay.
There's another
Refresh.
too, I know, but yeah, Refresh,
Okay, refresh
Optive
eye
Mega
drops.
3. Okay.
Optive Mega 3. Yes,
Mm.
Yeah, so
Lubri-
that might go ahead.
lubricant eye drops. They're called.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's something maybe pharmacist Scott could carry.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's helpful. Yeah, I've got it. Thank you, Jean.
Yeah, after I was doing it for it was a couple of weeks, very religiously. I happened to go to my appointment with the eye doctor, and he felt like my eyes had improved because I hadn't been using it that religiously before that. So
Okay,
I think it helps.
that's great.
Yeah,
Excellent. So
That makes sense though to something, like if people feel like, well, I don't know, I can't really tell, maybe there's something going on. Something to me personally that would make more sense is to drop something directly on my eye for direct absorption, much like liposomal glutathione versus, it being in my multivitamin, something like that. So yeah,
yeah,
I appreciate that. Hmm.
and it's kind of like the laser. So the laser is like we just talked about can be useful for many things, but if I had, say, a skin lesion, it's a lot more efficient to just put the laser on the skin lesion than to swallow, some vitamin A and hopefully it gets to that skin lesion and clears it up, right? It's like both
Right.
best is to do both, but probably the faster route will be, well, let's treat directly on the lesion surface.